What's up, YouTube? For today's video, with a full nerfed Pokemon ability team. I'll be going over all the nerfed Pokemon abilities, and I'm going to be breaking this up into two teams because there's quite a few of them. Now, some of the nerfs are bigger than others, and some of them happened at different times than others too. I'll be explaining how they change and if this is a real good thing or not such a good thing for the Pokemon. I've got 6 battles today. I really hope you enjoy them, and let's get into it. First battle here, this one is against Cloud. This is a battle on the Poke Portal. I think actually all of these battles are today. So once again, I'll split this into 2 different teams. First Pokemon here is going to be Raboot. Hopefully I can reboot the competition, being a Snorlax. However, this set is based around a speed. So pretty much with the Libero and Protean ability, this did receive a nerf as well. So you can only use it once per swap in, getting your boost, and that's it. You have to swap out to get another Protean/Libero boost. Before, it would be on every single move. So that is definitely a big nerf for any Pokemon that did receive that ability. Now, this Snorlax tried to start setting up stockpiles here, so I'm going to be going into Hitmontop. Now, Hitmontop has got the ability Intimidate, which also did get nerfed as well. And there's quite a few things with this. So abilities like Oblivious, Inner Focus, Own Tempo, Scrappy, immune now to Intimidate, so that's definitely a nerf to that. It also activates the Rattled ability, and it also is activated by the Guard Dog ability, which, you know, doesn't really appear in many Pokemon except a couple, but, you know, that raises the attack by 1 instead of lowering it. So just a little bit of information there how the Intimidate ability had a nerf. I wouldn't say it's a massive nerf, but it still can be annoying when you're going against Pokemon with that ability and they're immune to those drops. So we got a Mandibuzz coming in. This is a Focus Energy Triple Axle, Triple Kick Hitmontop, and that's going to make short work of Mandibuzz. That would have been really annoying. They would have been stalling there forever. Max attack and max speed, Jolly Nature with the scope lens. So in comes 69 tiles here. We're going to be going for a triple kick, getting as much damage as possible. Now, people, if you enjoy these videos, if you really like them, make sure you do leave a like there. That helps you see my videos more often and helps out the channel as well. That'd be awesome if you could do that. And leave me a comment. What have I missed out any nerfed Pokemon abilities? I believe I've got all of them, but maybe 1 or 2 could have slipped through the cracks there. I felt like 2 teams were pretty good. Now, there were some like close kind of related topics. For example, like Gengar, it had Levitate, then it changed to Cursed Body. I'm not counting that because the ability itself didn't get nerfed, it got changed. So I just thought I'd explain that one before someone is commenting in the comment section. So we got a Meowstic coming in here, and I'm going to be going for Electro Ball. This is a Flame Charge Electro Ball combination. Pretty much, I just tried to put all different kinds of types of moves on it so I could change my type around. So this Reboot set is max special attack and max speed, Naive Nature. And we've got Life Orb, Libero, Agility, Mud Shot, Flame Charge, Electro Ball. So it's basically trying to get faster than the opponent and hitting really, really hard. Unfortunately, with screens up, you know, Pokemon like Snorlax are going to be able to tank that really easily, even, you know, with really, really poor base speed. So Snorlax is going to body slam my Reboot. It's going to reboot my battle away, and now we're going to have the Meowscarlet coming in. So this, we've already explained Protean and Libero already. Now, this is a pretty cool set. I took a lot of people off guard with this, and it got some pretty good mini sweeps. So we've got a Protean Meowscarlet with Flame Orb here. So I'm going to change myself into the Psychic type. This is always interesting there. So Psychic type, and I've got Flame Orb as the item. So I'm going to be burned, and then I'm going to boost the power of Facade. Now, what I can do here, I thought I could go for Facade, but it's not going to take out Snorlax right away. Or even if it did, I'd like to make sure it is, it is burned. So I got a Citrus Berry, and they got burned. Then they popped the Giga Impact. Watch this, right? I lived on 7 health, and the Citrus Berry is going to activate, allowing me to live, and it's going to have the Snorlax having 1 turn of recharge and allowing me to hit it, you know, a couple of times with Facade, which is really, really cool. So that worked out nicely. The light screen is now gone, and Snorlax is going to have to take, you know, a couple of Facades here. So there's the first one. Good damage, but not quite enough to take it out. However, the second one is going to be the perfect, and, you know, it was perfectly played there. So that's the end of Snorlax. I got rid of it with my physical Meowscarlet. This one was Terra Normal as well, if you didn't already guess that. The Intimidate Hitmontop was Terra Ice, Triple Axle, And yeah, Hitmonchan comes in and claps Meowscarlet's cheeks there. I pretty much knew it'd have that anyway, but it sort of did its job already, so I let it do that. Next Pokemon we got is Smeargle, so it's got the Moody ability. This is my Blood Moon Burning Bulwark set. This is actually pretty effective. I actually got quite a few mini sweeps of this, and we got the opponent going for a Terra here. So instead of going Terra Fighting, they went Terra Electric, so that's interesting. Now this Smeargle set has got a Moody ability, so over the generations, Moody to get like a boost in all of its stats. Then it got nerfed back with evasion and accuracy getting nerfed completely out of there in Generation 8. Protean and Liberia was obviously very soon in Generation 9 too, if I didn't mention that. And yeah, pretty much Gen 9 for Intimidate changes too. So we've got a Burning Bulwark burn on the Hitmonchan, which is perfect because it's a physical attacker. Not that, Smeargle's still going to take lots of damage, but I thought that'd be great for Gothitelle. So Gothitelle's got the Shadow Tag ability, and it's going to be able to eat these Thunder Punches like, really, really easy peasy. So with the Shadow Tag ability, that doesn't work against other Shadow Tag Pokemon, and also Ghost types are not affected by that too. So that was a somewhat nerf, and quite a big nerf too, because Ghost types are somewhat good against a lot of the Psychic type Pokemon too. But then again, you had to have a counter for that type too. So this is a really cool Gothitelle set. So it's made to, normally it's made to paralyze and confuse the opponent. And with the confusion, I've got Flatter, and that's going to boost my special attack. Now, I've also got Trick Room too, and I've got Dark Pulse. So I can set the Trick Room up, I can then go for the flinches, and they're, usually they're paralyzed and they're confused at the same time. Quite a nasty little set there. The EV spread for this one is max health and max special attack, quiet nature, 0 IVs in speed, so really making use of that slow Pokemon. All I can really do is go for a Throat Drop, but thanks to the burn from Burning Bulwark from the Smeargle, Hitmonchan was not doing a lot of damage at all there, so that's great. Sorry, Hitmonchan. So that's the end of Hitmonchan. We've got a Meowstic, and one other Pokeball left. Meowstic's going to come back in here. Now, I've got Dark Pulse. I decided to go for Thunder Wave instead because I wasn't 100% confident I could one-shot this. I wasn't really sure. It'd be close, sure, but I wasn't 100% sure. Then they set up the light screens. I'm like, okay, fair enough. That's fine. It got paralyzed this turn, and then I got a Dark Pulse off. So the Dark Pulse actually managed to almost take out. Very, very close. Then the Trick Room ran out. That's why I went for Thunder Wave that turn, because I knew if I managed to live that next turn, I could have the speed advantage after that. I just had to sort of give up one turn. The last Pokemon is going to be Raichu. I'm not going to write you a love song today, maybe tomorrow, and it's going to go for a Nuzzle. Now, that interests me. I thought they'd go for at least Thunderbolt. Gothitelle does not get paralyzed, and Dark Pulse actually crits and almost takes out the Raichu. Maybe they thought they had a little bit more time, or they thought I may swap into another Pokemon. Regardless, Gothitelle is going to faint there, which I knew anyway was going to happen. So light screen's gone. We're going to go into Sableye. This is Prankster. Obviously, Prankster cannot be used against Dark-type Pokemon anymore, the ability, and that was a mega nerf. Now, this is probably one of my favorite Sableye sets. So I don't usually typically use Stellar at all, but this is really cool. So we got Metronome Stellar here. So with Metronome, you get to use lots of different types of moves. Stellar actually boosts all the types of moves, so it's actually quite good with Metronome. It's one of the few good things about Terra that it has over Terra. So this Prankster set is Nasty Plot, Recover, Metronome, and Bulk Up. So it's designed to boost its special attack and boost its attack and defense and make it really tanky and hit really hard. And that is going to be enough to take out the Raichu with a Terrain Pulse at the end there. So a cool little showcase of some of these sets on my very, very first turn. Let's get on to battle number 2. No idea who my opponent is here. Maybe someone can translate. They've got a, looks like they've got a cowboy hat on. This town is not going to be, big enough for the both of us sort of thing. So my first Pokemon here is going to be my Zacian. So with Zacian and Zamazenta, both of their abilities, Intempered Sword and Dauntless Shield, can only be activated once per battle per swap in, and that's it. So that was a very, very big nerf for those two abilities. I mean, Zacian still has really, really good attack anyway, but definitely a pretty good nerf there. Basically, I would say this makes it you need to use Zacian at the right time now. You can't just swap it in and spam the A button, right? You have to actually, think a little bit, right? So this Ogerpon was trying to take me out there with a spiky shield combination. This is actually a special Zacian, and I didn't have the crown version either. I thought I'd roll with a special set, which actually worked pretty well. So I've got Hyper Voice with Throat Spray, Moonblast, Focus Miss, and Steel Beam. Max special attack and max speed. Modest nature. So that's the end of Ogerpon. In comes the Quackquavel. We're going to send that Quackquavel to the moon. However, it is going to have a Focus Sash. So as soon as I seen that, I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be Aqua Step and Moxie. And it is going to be Aqua Step and Moxie. So that's going to be enough to take up my Zacian. So it's got a speed boost and it's going to get an attack boost. I need to shut this down. Otherwise, like any Moxie Pokemon, especially with speed, it's going to snowball really quickly. Next Pokemon is Talonflame. So we've got the perfect ability to get around this is Gale Wing. So this is a PIMPNITE special set, and Air Cutter is going to be enough to take it out there. So with Gale Wings, that was you have to have full health to activate Gale Wings ability. If you're missing one health, it's not going to activate, giving you priority to those flying moves. That was changed in Generation 7. So we got a Meowscarlet coming in. It's going to hit me with a knockoff, getting rid of my Scope Lens. This is a Scope Lens overheat set. It was sort of meant to stack with Air Cutter as well, because Air Cutter is, terrible, but it was fun to use, and I got outsped there. I was running Modest Nature for a little bit more damage output and relying on Gale Wings, but in that case, I wasn't able to do it. Like, if it wasn't nerfed, I could have used Air Cutter then, but since it was, I got outsped. That was Solar Beam and Roost as well on there. Next Pokemon is Greninja. This is Battle Bond Greninja. We got Waterfall, Dank Pulse, Extra Sentry, and Upper Hand. Pretty mixed kind of set. It worked fairly well across the board. So Battle Bond, it used to transform you into Ash Greninja, which would have boosted stats. However, now you don't have a transformation, which in my opinion really sucks, and you get a boost in your attack, special attack, and speed upon feigning an opponent once per battle. And that's it, I prefer the Ash Greninja myself personally, but yeah, that was, I would definitely say that was a nerf, because you're not always guaranteed to get those stat boosts, like, it's kind of like Moxie. If you're on a low amount of health, the opponent sends in a Moxie Pokemon, we're going to swap it out, right, to try and prevent that kind of thing. So, I believe overall it was better. So definitely a big nerf there. So we got Hairy Mama, we got Iron Hands coming in here with the Terra Fairy Play Rough. No way I'm going to live that. I tried to get some Dark Pulse flinching going, but it was completely countered by the Terra. Next Pokemon is Groudon. So Groudon's ability Drought. It's quite a funny thing here, because I had a comment about this the other day on one of my really old videos. It was the level 1 Aron sweep I did, like, I don't know, 10 or 11 years ago. Back in Generation 5, weather was permanent. So if you send in Groudon, it would be sunny permanently until the weather was, stopped by another Pokemon, right, with weather themselves. So, back in Generation 5, you could have infinite sandstorms and rain and stuff like that. Now, that was cut back to only 5 turns and be able to extend with, like, a Heat Rock, for example, on drought Pokemon like Groudon and Ninetales and Torkoal and stuff like that. So, that was definitely a big nerf, but it was very, very strong having permanent weather. That was, I think that was a healthy nerf to the game there. So, in comes Miraidon there. It's going to go for Dazzling Gleam. I thought they may pop out a Dragon move, but maybe they had Draco Meteor and didn't want to use it. And then they're going to swap back in their Iron Hands. Now, Iron Hands is going to get an attack boost, and it has Fake Out, so that was disappointing. I thought I could land an Earth Power on that, but that's the end of Groudon. That was a special Groudon too. Max speed and max special attack, Eruption, Solar Beam, Earth Power, and Thunder. Thunder was there if there was any Kyogres around. I could counter them, which was be pretty funny. Modest Nature. Next Pokemon is Mimikyu. So this is my really tanky, big suck, big root disguised Mimikyu. Now this is actually low-key fire. It's actually very, very strong in the right circumstances. It is countered though by a couple of types. So this Mimikyu is max health, and it's also max attack. So we've got Animal Nature, and we've got Leech Life and Drain Punch with Big Root, Sword Dance, and Pain Split. So it's decided there to rely on its disguise and then hit really hard with Leech Life and Drain Punch. It's actually Terra Bug as well. Now this thing was hitting very, very hard, extremely hard, and I really couldn't do a lot to it. I'll be honest, I couldn't do much to it. I was pretty much waiting for that electric terrain to stall. So with Disguise, this really only had a tiny little nerf. When the Disguise is busted now, in the past, you didn't take any damage, but when it's busted, you now lose 1/8 of the maximum health, prior to having like no damage. And that was only a very, very small nerf to Mimikyu's Disguise. In fact, Disguise is a very, very strong ability. So, in my opinion, that was a pretty soft nerf, right? Unless you're on like a small amount of health and somehow still had your Disguise going like that, which doesn't happen all that often. Last Pokemon is Zamazenta. Now, this Zamazenta is probably the best set on my team. This is a really tanky defensive set. So we got Iron Defense and Body Press, and Agility and Snarl. So I tried to only work it around one move. We got Max Defense and Max Speed, Bold Nature, and this one is designed to get as many defensive boosts up as possible. It gets one on the swap in, and then your Iron Defense up to get Max Defense there. That gives you a lot of power with Body Press, and it's got very, very good speed as well. And you can also put Citrus Berry on there, unlike the Shield version where you have to have the item. So I've also got Agility on here as well, in case I get outsped for some reason, and then I can just spam Body Press. It's pretty powerful. The only thing is this Iron Hands was Fairy type, so it did resist my move, but since I had so many defensive boosts up in the end there, it was doing no damage at all. They needed a critical hit. So that's the end of the Iron Hands. Last Pokemon is very defensively bulky, and that's Groudon. So that's why I got so many of those defensive boosts up there, because I wanted to take this thing out in one shot, and it's going to get wrecked, and that is the end of the battle there. So another really great battle. Thank you to my opponent, whoever that was there. Once again, if you are one of these people I battled in these videos, let me know in the comment section. If you're enjoying it so far, make sure you slap that like button, and let's get on to the third battle. This is a battle against Doron. Now, I think I've battled this person before as a random opponent. I could be wrong, but I'm very, very sure that I have. So we got a Cinderace lead here. It's going to go for a Trailblaze. I thought with a Cinderace as the lead, I bet you they won't expect a fire move. So I went for Eruption instead, right? Obviously, I took some damage there, so Eruption won't be at full base power, but man, it still took Cinderace down to its Sash, which is really, really good. So they're a Grass type. Funny, they're using the Libero as well, and that's going to change him into a Grass type. So my good prediction there at the start allowed me to beat that Cinderace. That could have been nasty if I used Earth's power, I think that's what they were hoping on, me going for a ground move. They probably didn't expect a special move, though. So special set. Next Pokemon's going to be Baxcalibur. That's the end of Groudon. It's going to faint to the Ice Shard. I kind of saw that one coming anyway. Not that I could have done a lot there with Thermal Exchange and other stuff like that. We're going to swap in the Zacian. We got that attack boost. This will really throw them off, too. A lot of the time, people would panic when I swapped that in. They thought, oh, I'm going to be a physical set, and then I turned out to be a special set and swept half of the team and stuff like that. So we got an instant terror as soon as Zacian come out, which is pretty funny. They're going to go for Terra Fairy, which is interesting. I went for Moonblast there. Now, Moonblast does virtually nothing to them, and now they're going to go for a Dragon Dance. So I thought to myself, well, I might get outsped depending on what build they've got. Zacian is very fast in this form, so I went for Steel Beam. It's super effective, it's going to hit hard, and Baxcalibur is no more. So they essentially wasted their Terror there. So that was a very, very good couple of turns for me. Next Pokemon's going to be Thundurus. Thundurus, I thought, well, I go for Hyper Voice. Let's get that special attack boost up. If I can live this attack, I'll be able to hit really hard and fast for Moonblast. And Thundurus is going to go for a T-Ball. I thought it might go for, the chance it might have gone for Volt Switch, but it just fainted me. So maybe I could have gone for Moonblast for more damage there. Regardless, I don't think I would have fainted it anyway. Next Pokemon is Talonflame. I'm going to pop the OV in the sun here. No way Thundurus is going to be living that one. The PIMPNITE special Talonflame is hits pretty hard, especially if it can get critting as well with Scope Lens. Next Pokemon there we got is Ursaluna, a .com Pokemon. Release those ones, and it's going to go for Protect. So like, all right, well, it's going to be the typical Facade set. I went for Solar Beam here. Now, unfortunately, it used Protect that turn, and also the sun ran out this turn too. So a little bit lucky for my opponent there. They got off that scot-free. I'm going to swap out the Talonflame there and maybe use it later. So going to Mimikyu, I know they're going to go for Facade. There's a high chance. Well, they're not going to go for a ground type move. You know what? I would have definitely gone for a ground move there because seeing on my team there was a Mimikyu. Mimikyu was the obvious swap in there, so I say I would have predicted that and risked going for the ground move there. I mean, Talonflame obviously was going to swap out with a negative special attack, so that's the only thing play so far I feel they could have improved on. So we're going to bring in Mimikyu. I'm going to go for a Sword Dance. They are absolutely definitely not going to expect the Terra Bug here. They're spamming Grassy Glide, so all very, very standard kind of sets there, so pretty, fairly easy to predict. So getting up some Sword Dances here. This Mimikyu is max health as well, so it is going to be rather tanky. And with Terra Bug, which I know they won't expect, Leech Life will absolutely dominate Rillaboom. And since they've already terrored already, I know that there's not going to be any surprise terrors and things like that, to change the game around. So we got that Terra Bug Mimikyu with the big root, which is going to allow for some crazy health recovery. Grassy Glide is going to do donkeys, and Leech Life is going to give me all of my health back and take out the Rillaboom. So, a pretty nice little set there. It is walled though, as you see in the first battle. It is walled by fairy types, and there's a few other types and stuff like that. But it is a pretty strong set. Next Pokemon's going to be another .com and we're going to go for Leech Life. That's a very, very bulky Sinister, and it's going to set the Trick Room up. So I was like, all right, I see what they're doing here. They're setting up their Ursaluna. So I know that Mimikyu can pretty much take any attack, even if it uses like anything, like Shadow Ball, even a Shadow Ball crit. I felt like I would have lived that one, and I can go for Leech Life and finish it off here. So that's good. That's another Pokemon down. All that's left is Ursaluna. However, since they've only lost 2 Pokemon, that's good, right? But they've got Trick Room, and your team can quickly faint with a powerhouse like Ursaluna under, Trick Room, right? I have no priority here. It can go for Facade since now I'm not a Ghost type. That was the only drawback of turning into a Bug type. That's Mimikyu down. That was their biggest counter. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my best here. So we're swapping in here into the Talonflame, going for the Gale Wings Air Cutter. Thank goodness I got that priority. Getting a little bit of damage there, but Ursaluna, it's not going to faint to that. And that's the end of Talonflame. So here I'm thinking, all right, I've got to stall this Trick Room out. So we're going to go into Greninja. Greninja here is expendable as well, so I'm just going to let it faint. I think I went for upper hand there, but it didn't do anything, obviously. And last Pokemon is going to be a Zacian. So I've got a +1 in defense, which is great. And I'm going to be going first there because that's the end of the Trick Room. So I've got +3 in defense now, and we've got an incoming Facade. So I know that's going to be their only play they can go for. And I'm able to take them out with a body press there. Perfectly sort of waited there for the Ursaluna. But a good comeback there from my opponent at the end, but they sort of, I pretty much had such a good lead at the start and had a very good counter for the Ursaluna at the end. Thank you for the battle. Let's go on to battle number 4. This is a battle against Toby, and we have a interesting lead here. I've totally never seen this lead before. So we're gonna finish on lead here. I've got my this is really cool. I get to show off my Blood Moon strategies here with Smeargle. So first I'm gonna go for Burning Bulwark. Obviously they're gonna go for a flip turn, and this Burning Bulwark Smeargle is really, really good. Like seriously, if you're using Smeargle and you need a protection set, use Burning Bulwark. It's very, very good. A lot of the time you'll find physical attackers will try and break your sash, or scout with flip turn and U-turn. Bam, you've got them burned, and they're definitely not as threatening here, and I get to really show that off in this battle. So we burn the lead, which is great. I'm going to do a swap here and go into Meowscarada. So I know they're going to go obviously for flip turn. Meowscarada is going to take very minimal damage there. So in that sort of like matchup there, I feel like I came out on top. I took a little bit of damage, and then their Pokemon was burned. Speaking of Pokemon getting burned, watch this. I went for a trick, changed myself into a Psychic type, and I'm going to be giving them a Flame Orb, which Mincedo is really, really not going to like. I'm assuming it's just going to be the typical skill link set or loaded dice, and it was loaded dice. They've gone for Triple Axle, and Triple Axle has actually failed to take out my Meowscarada. It only landed 3 times because they didn't have their item to rely on 5 hits, and now I've burnt them as well. So effectively, I've shut down another physical attacker there. Which is great, So things are going really, really well. We're doing really well against meta at the moment. In comes the Archludon. I was sort of hoping they'd stay in there and finish me off so I could get a Facade going. I don't think they actually predicted me going for the start. I think they just tried to get a free stamina there, and that's the enemy outstarter. But still a good result. That's the enemy outstarter. So what I'm going to do here is go into my Libero boot. So I went for the Terra Ground. So not the Terra Ground, the Libero Ground, in hopes that maybe they'll go for Electro Web. I was still expecting Body Press, though, as a very good option for them to go for it. And, it's a standard meta set. It's very easy to use. Doesn't take a lot of, doesn't take much to use it. Anyone can do that. And, yeah, they're going to fake me with Body Press, which is fine. I definitely predicted that. I thought on the off chance if they went for Electro Shot, that would have been really cool. But, it didn't work out the way. So we're going to go into Smeargle now. I'm going to set up a Tail Glow. I've got my Focus Sash intact here. Obviously, they're going to keep spamming Body Press. That's the only thing they're going to be able to do with this set. And, yeah, we got that Sash there. So I've got Tail Glow up. Now I thought, well, I could get maybe a Moody boost in special attack or speed. I've got a special attack rise, which is great. And so I've got +3 in special attack. So I was like, all right, well, I'll go for Spore this turn. That's going to be good. And then I might be able to go for another Tail Glow. And then I'll be able to hit it with a +6 Blood Moon. It sounds pretty powerful, but coming from a Smeargle, it's not super powerful. Like and I got a special attack drop there, so I'm like, oh man, that sucks. So now I'm gonna get a +4 after that Tail Glow, which is fine. +5 there, and with Tail Glow, it's a boost of 3, and we're getting a good amount of boosters. So +5 boost. Now I've got Blood Moon. I went for the Blood Moon here, hoping that I'd take it out, but it lived. I was like, dang. Smeargle's special attack is absolute rubbish, right? So the cool thing about this set is with Blood Moon, obviously you can't use it back to back, but you can use Burning Bulwark, right, and stall that out and maybe get a burn on the opponent and then go for that again. Anyway, it just lived, unfortunately. We're gonna go into Sableye. Now watch this. Like, this is the only on PIMPNITE's channel moment. Ready? Watch this. I went for Metronome, and then I got Blood Moon on Sableye. Like, there's no way that happened. So I got an unboosted Blood Moon KO on the Archer. I was laughing so hard at that. I mean, what would be the mathematical chances of that happening? Like, that's crazy. Anyway, so we're going to have the Gold. Now, Goldango was a very easy to win counter against this team. I was really hoping I could get a lucky Metronome move here. So they're going to go for Nasty Plot, of course. This is a standard set anyone could use. And we're going to go for a Metronome. And hopefully we get like Fire Blast or something. And then I got Power Swap. Good as Gold is going to stop that anyway. And we both had a special attack drop anyway. So they're going to go for the Make It Rain. And that's going to drop their special attack. So I need to find a way to take this out with what limited memes I've got left. So I was like, all right, we've got Gothitelle. I might be able to go for Terra Dark here. So obviously, I'd say they'd be inclined to go for an obvious Shadow Ball. None of their steps seem to be out of the ordering, just standard stuff. And I go for Terra Dark, sponge that Shadow Ball, set the Trick Room up, and maybe try and go for a flinch or something along those lines. That's really all I had left. I was trying to squeeze every little bit out of this team I possibly could. So obvious Shadow Ball is obvious. We're going to go for the Trick Room here. Now I've got the speed advantage. I know they're going to go for Make It Rain here. So we're hoping maybe for a crit or a flinch. And I got great damage there, and I got a flinch, which is great. So that's actually going to make the battle interesting now. They don't have like just a Pokemon they can just press A with and win easily. So that's great. This is going to make it really interesting. They're going to have to actually work now. So next Pokemon's Dragapult. Now they're going to go for a Terra. I thought they may go for a Terra because their first two Pokemon were burned. They were effectively almost shut down. Maybe not the Palafin though. Even burn, that thing is still pretty scary. But remember, I had Hitmontop in the back now, so I thought, all right, Gothitelle cannot win me the battle, but it can help me. It's not going to win the matchup with Dragapult, but it can win me the battle. So I went for the Paralyze there on the Dragapult, since it's a very fast Pokemon. Also, I know that Trick Room is only going to last so long too, and Hitmontop is not going to work well in the Trick Room either. It's a speedier Pokemon. So they're going to swap out into the Palafin. It's in its little hero form now. It's not going to be hitting as hard, but it still is going to be hitting pretty hard since it has such crazy stats. So they're going to go for their priority move there. I thought it would have been closer. I lived that. It must have been very, very close. Anyway, last Pokemon is Hitmontop. So I was like, well, I know that I can beat Cinccino. I know that I can beat Dragapult. I've got Triple Kick for Cinccino, and I've got my Ice move for the Dragapult. So I pretty much got those shut down. So I flinched him with the Fake Out. So I thought, well, Fake Out damage plus burn, it's better than nothing. This thing is really bulky, and it's going to go for Wave Crash. So it did outspeed me. I knew that it still hit pretty hard. So Hitmontop is going to be a 3-hit KO with Wave Crash. I have to go for Focus Energy here because, let's face it, Triple Kick and they're not very powerful. But Triple Kick isn't exactly what you call a powerful move, right? It's pretty terrible, but I managed to live the next one, which was really nice, and I took out the Palafin there with crits. With Triple Kick, right? It's base power is 10, so it's not exactly what you call amazing physical move, right? That's why no one really runs triple kick on Hitmontop. Next Pokemon is going to be the Greninja. They know they can't swap in their Cincena or the Dragon Bolt because they would have lost those two Pokemon, and they're going to go for Liquidation. But very, very close battle there. Essentially, if you look at it, they were running like full meta and barely scraped the win there against memes because like Cincena and Dragon Bolt could not swap in there. Really cool showcase of the team there. I hope you enjoyed the one. Let's go on to battle number 5. I have no idea who this opponent is, but they've got a Latios lead. And this is actually pretty funny. So they had that Latios lead here. I had my Zacian. I went for the Hyper Voice here. I thought, well, this will be good. I'll get a special attack boost up here. Latios is quite a tanky special defensive Pokemon. I'm going to need these, need this boost, and then I can go for, like, Moonblast. But then they went for a Mist Ball. I'm like, oh, Mist Ball. I haven't seen that one for too long. And Mist Ball is going to actually have a 50% chance to drop my special attack. And it does that. Of course it does that. So, like, all right, well, fair enough. I went for Moonblast, and, in hindsight, I could have gone for Moonblast twice, but I didn't know they were going to go for Mist Ball. I actually had this pretty cool Mist Ball Latios. I used, like, a Recover, Mist Ball. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was a really tanky, annoying set. Next Pokemon is going to be Latios. I was like, what's this going to use? Luster Purge? But I was thinking that, no, I didn't say it right, but I hit the Moonblast, right? Almost forgot. Then it used Luster Purge. Like, that's pretty funny. They used both of their signature moves. So that's going to be the end of the Zacian. Obviously, Latios has a very nice special attack, but I was still pretty happy with that start. Swapping Greninja, this is actually going to go for Recover, which is interesting because I've got a very good type advantage here. So I just went for Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is going to take it out, and now I'm going to get Battle Bond. So typically before the nerf, Greninja would have transformed into Ash Greninja, and you would have got that big buff in stats there. But instead, base stats. And instead, you don't have any transformation, and you get an attack, special attack, and speed boost once off. So yeah, I don't think it's as good. I like the other form too. So we got the Dialga Origin coming in here. This Pokemon is super fat. It's kind of hard to faint it in one shot. And this is going to be Terra Dragon. So I was like, man, obviously they're deeming this Greninja as a pretty big threat, right? So wait for the Dank Pulse. Going for the flinch. Good damage, but no flinch. It's going to go for a Terra Dragon Roar at a time. Damn, so they definitely wanted to get rid of my Greninja there. That's obviously I'm not going to live that. Holy smokes. So that's the end of Greninja. At least now they've used their Terra. So into Mimikyu, I know that I can get a free Sword Dance up here. I've got Drain Punch, and that's kind of about it. I don't think that they could take me out unless they had like Flash Cannon, but then they use Iron Tail. I'm like, oh man. So they landed Iron Tail, plus they dropped my defense. I'm like, this isn't a very good situation, right? Because I figured that I probably wouldn't fake them. They'd probably live that. So I thought, all right, it might miss. Iron Tail's accuracy is pretty shaky, right? But they managed to live that, which means obviously I'm going to faint there because I've got a defensive drop. Maybe if I didn't get a defensive drop, I would have lived that. Regardless, it's on a small amount of health there. We're going to bring in the Talonflame and finish it off with a Air Cutter. I even got a critical hit there too with the Scope Lens. So that's the end of the Dialga. So we're sort of even at the moment. Next Pokemon's going to be Necrozma Dustbane. I've got Overheat here. Now, I don't have Drought up, but man, this drops really hard. Some great damage there from the special attacking set. Unfortunately, I didn't land my crit, which I was hoping for. Prismatic Laser is going to one-shot Talonflame. We basically got a little legendary team here. Next Pokemon's going to be, as I said, out of legendary. We've got a Groudon here. Groudon's going to go for a Eruption. That's going to hit really, really hard. Like, Groudon Eruption is very strong, even on a special attacking set. And yeah, that's going to be the end of Necrozma, which is good. Now, the next Pokemon is Decidueye. Decidueye's going to get hit hard by that. They're very terrors. I'm like, well, this is going to get dropped, right? And it had a Focus Sash. I'm like, what the heck? So, Decidueye Hisuian had that Focus Sash, and they're going to go for the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade does very good damage to me. Eruption is going to still take it out because it's got 1 health. But, the next Eruption is not going to be very powerful at all, so I might need to use another move. Last Pokemon is going to be a Hackmon, and it's another Ursaluna. So, like, I can go for Solar Beam here at least. That'll do some that'll do pretty good damage. I don't think it'll faint it, but I was thinking, you look at it, probably 3/4 health damage here, and it did exactly that. So I was pretty happy with that. Now they're going to go for Close Combat. Close Combat is going to take out the Groudon. I mean, that's good, right? That's only going to drop their stats. So I've got, what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got one more Poké left, being the Zamazenta, I can pretty much easily take them out here. I don't even really need to go for a Iron Defense, so I decided to go for a Terra here. This is Terra Fighting, if you didn't already guess. I think that was pretty obvious, but if I didn't mention that, we got the Terra Fighting Zamazenta, and that can easily take out the Ursaluna. It already has a defensive drop already, and it's going to be super effective. So that one is a GG. Little legendary team there. And we've got one more battle left of this video. Is anyone still watching at the moment? Are you enjoying the videos? Let me know in the comment section. Slap that like button. And let's get on to battle number 6 here. I think this is the battle on my stream I had. This gets a Psy Master, and we have a Moody lead here. So this is the same team as well. If you can guess what it is, let me know in the comments. First Pokemon is going to be my Libero Reboot. Now, this, I'm trying to boost the speed on it because I want to see if I can use Electro Ball, right? Now, when you use the Fire-type move, right, obviously your ability doesn't activate to use, like, a different type. So I thought I'll boost my speed up, and then I'll go for the Libero Electro Ball, which does some good damage. Moody isn't a very fast Pokemon at all, so it's going to get hit pretty hard. I don't know whether that crit mattered at all. I don't know, like, if it was ever lighted or not, but it still would have done tons of damage regardless. Next Pokemon's going to be Quillfish. Quillfish is going to get hit hard by my Mud Shot there, dropping the speed too, and I'm going to take some more damage from Life Orb. This thing is going to be going for a Bar Barrage. That's not going to do too much to me. I'm going to finish off with Electro Ball. So 2 Pokemon down so far. Things are going pretty good for Reboot. Actually, I think Reboot was the best Pokemon on my team in this battle. It was just really, really suited for the team. So we got a Quillfish coming in there. We had the Hisuian one. Then they swapped out. They got an Intimidate off and went into Overquill. So you might be able to see the the theme team going here. So I went for Electro Ball, some good damage there. Then I went for a Mud Shot, almost took it out, very, very close. Another speed drop there. And this Pokemon is actually going to be going for a Fell Stinger this turn. I actually fainted this turn, so I denied them their +3 in attack, which is very good because that would have been a pretty crazy Pokemon to deal with. So since I had such a big lead at the moment, I thought, let's play around here. Let's use Stellar Metronome on Sableye. I want to see what I can get right. Then they're going to bring in the Tentacruel. This is definitely the most bulky and annoying Pokemon on their team. So we're going to get a nasty plot up here. So we're getting a special attack boost, and unfortunately I'm poisoned here as well. So my Sableye may not last for too long. I do have Recover, but I don't know. I didn't really like stalling too much with Sableye, unless I really don't like to stall too much unless I am down, unless I'm like losing really badly. Right? If I'm like winning very, very easily, I don't tend to do that. I feel like it's not necessary. So anyway, I got a Poison Tail, which is obviously a great move for this team. And now Tentacruel is going to go for a Water Pulse. So it seems to be like a confusing set. And it's also got Black Sludge too. Now, for the purpose of this video, because it went for this battle went for quite a while, I'm just going to show you that the Tentacruel had Black Sludge and I had Leftovers, right? I'm going to cut those animations out and stuff because it just went for freaking ages, right? So we're going to keep going for Metronome here. Now, speaking of Metronome, if you're still listening at the moment, would you like to see a new Metronome team? It's been like a year or more. I'd like to do a team maybe based around Stella. Like I could do a Stella Metronome and some other things like that. Like, let me know. I might be able to come up with some cool Stella strategies. I mean, I really like this Sableye set. I definitely use this, but I might be able to come up with like 5 other interesting ones as well. The cool thing about this Sableye using Metronome is it's going first, so I didn't need to invest anything at all in speed. I just invested everything in like, bulk basically, or offensive stats. Now this Quillfish is going to be going for Minimize here. It's going to be making itself very, very difficult to hit. Now Sableye actually got Rock Wrecker, but that missed. That would have done some pretty good damage there. Anyway, it's got another spikes on the field, so there's a lot of entry hazards and toxic spikes and things like that. So quite a stally little team here. So I'm going to get Shadow Seek, which is pretty funny because Sableye already knows that move already, and they're going to keep upsetting Minimizers here. I've actually only used one Pokemon apart from the Sableye at the moment, so I'm wiggling my fingers, and then I use Swallow. So like, do I go for a cover here? Because I can easily go for a cover here, but I decided again, so I'm like, nah, I'm not going to stall. I've got such a big lead anyway. I'll use some of my other Pokemon. Plus my Metronome PP was running pretty thin. So we're going to go into Meow Scarlet now. This thing already had like 2 or 3 minimized up, so I wanted to make sure I could actually feint that. So I went for Facade, it missed, and then I went for Chilling Water. So Chilling Water is going to drop my attack, unfortunately, and this, as you know, is a physical Meowscarter, so with Facade. So I went for Trick, and it's going to miss there. I'm hoping that I can get like some sort of like attacking move off on this thing. So Acid Spray is going to drop my Special Defense, and you know, Chilling Water for you know, dropping attack. So it's like a very, very tanky little Quillfish. So I managed to get a Facade off here, and that's enough to take out the Quillfish, which is good. I didn't want to sit there missing my moves for the next like 20 turns. So I've got like probably 1 more turn left in me, and out comes the Tentacruel. So this Tentacruel is going to get hit by Facade, but since there was a Chilling Water, I got hit by Chilling Water. It did like donkeys. Now the Tentacruel is going to start stalling here, and yeah, there's no way I can do a lot of damage. So I thought, all right, I'll go for Trick. I'll get rid of their Black Sludge and give them a Flame Orb. That's going to probably be a better idea because, you know, it's not going to do a lot after an Acid Armor there. My computer is freaking out at the moment if you see any like little glitchiness on the screen. So another Defense Rise for Tentacruel as expected, and then I died to the Black Sludge or Poison. It doesn't really matter. I would have fainted this turn anyway. So that's the end of Meowscarter. Now we're going to go into the Smeargle. So I thought maybe I could set up, you know, with this Smeargle. I haven't really seen too many offensive moves used yet. It's just stalling moves like Acid Armor and stuff. So I went for a Tail Glow. I thought I'll go for Tail Glow, then I'll go for a Blood Moon. You know, it should do some alright damage. Here comes the Sludge Wave, and Smeargle's not going to live that. So, you know, Spikes and Toxic Spikes, that sort of whatever, that's going to feint the Smeargle. So next Pokemon I got is Gothitelle. Gothitelle's best move is Dark Pulse. So I was like, man, I don't really know what I can do here. This thing is hitting very, very hard. So I went for Dark Pulse, and I got some okay damage. Nothing like super amazing. So that's going to be the end of the Gothitelle. After this turn, I actually managed to live that and almost take out the Tentacruel, but it actually put the Tentacruel in range of the Flame Orb taking it out. So, you know, in the end, it really did its job there. I really liked that Gothitelle set. That was really fun. You know, confusing the opponent, getting a special attack boost, and then flinching them with Dark Pulse under Trigger. It was quite cool. Second last Pokemon is Overquill, and the other Pokemon I got is a Toxapex. So we've got the Hitmontop here. I've got Fake Out, but since I'm not running anything like Technician, like, you know, a typical set would, you know, sort of run there, Fake Out sort of falls short of doing damage. I can see it's got a Rocky Helmet as well. I just went for a normal attacking move, and the move they had there was Destiny Bond, so they outsped my Hitmontop. And obviously this turn, you know, I'm not going to... This was the turn I was like, please miss the triple click, because, you know, it would miss a lot, right, even for a high accuracy move, and that turn, you know, I knew that it was going to land. So that's the end of my Hitmontop, and that's also the end of the battle. I hope you enjoyed this Nerfed Pokemon abilities. It was a really fun team to do. If you did enjoy it, if you're new here, subscribe, like, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.